I'm Zak Waters, also known as Pretty Sister, writer, producer, singer from Los Angeles, California. Done a lot of work with Betty Who, Superfruit, Shiny, JoJo, all kinds of different stuff all across the board. I don't know, I wish there was like a certain process. I think I go through phases in what process I'm gonna use. Sometimes my worst fear as a producer and like the person like running the ship is to not have any ideas, you know? Like that scares me. If I'm doing a session, like a session and I have, you know, 2 other writers here, I try to have a couple, even if it's like a chord progression and like a kick and a snap or something, right? Just something for people to come in and vibe to. Now, I love it also though when somebody comes in, like I work with this girl Rozzy a lot, and Rozzy always comes in with a lyric. Like she always writes poems. And I'm like, thank you. It inspires me, and then we could roll that into a song, and it's great because we've written like, I feel like we've written like 20 songs together. And then for my own stuff, like I'll have a lyric melody concept, and then I'll kind of sing it in my head, and then I'll put chords behind it, and I'll have like the kind of beat, and then I go from there, and then I make the track, and then I'll end up writing to the track. I started making beats when I was like 15 or 16. My friend gave me like a burned copy of Fruity Loops, and I was just like making Lil Jon beats. Yeah! The reason I started producing was because I wanted stuff to sing to. I was always singing in my bedroom. I was singing to like D'Angelo and Brian McKnight and, you know, all this R&B stuff, and I just wanted like original songs that I could sing to and write to. You know, I think I wrote my first song when I was 15 or 16ish, and there's a Teddy Pendergrass song called Close the Door. And there's a really long intro. And so I wrote my first song over that. But I didn't have like a sampler or anything, so I just kept like pressing rewind like on my CD player and then like writing over it. But then as I joined bands and did that kind of thing, I started to just become more of a writer. But then again, like because I was the only person who knew how to use Pro Tools, I became like the person who did our band's demos. And then I took some time off doing that, and I was just doing top lines. And I had like a song that did pretty well. And so then that just like opened the floodgates, and like every DJ was like, write to my track, sing on my track, you know what I mean? And I was like, I don't know if this is like exactly what I wanted to be doing, but it's just, you know, you kind of follow the path of least resistance sometimes. I think any songs that I write, either whether it's for Pretty Sister or it's for somebody else, a lot of times I ask myself, like, why does this song need to exist in the world? Who cares about like something that we've heard a million times? Sometimes like the track is really hot and it's just like, it's a fun song, and you're like, okay, cool, that's a fine enough reason, you know? I think especially for Pretty Sister stuff, it doesn't take itself too seriously. So, you know, I have songs like Thirsty that just talk about like being horny. I try to find something that somebody hasn't said, but we all, as human beings, like know about, and maybe just there hasn't been a song about it, or there hasn't been like a really explicit song about it. That is a certain thing. And then obviously, like if I'm working with Betty, it's a completely different thing. Like we do not talk about the same stuff at all. You know what I mean? So no matter who you're working with, like whether it's a country artist or a rap artist, it's like, is the song honest, and is there a point for it to exist? If so, then like you're on a good track. You know what I mean? Most important, lyrics and melody. It's like, it's all there is. Production can be fire actually, and the song could suck, but it definitely doesn't help inspire. You know what I mean? Because also like if the song is incredible, as a producer, it's kind of your job to be like, okay, just don't mess this up. And that's when I have the hardest time producing a song, and it sits around for the longest amount of time, is when the song is incredible and I go, damn, like, I don't really know what to do with this. Like, that's when your discipline kicks in and you go, like, slap yourself, shut up, do it, just do it. Go, like, sit in your chair for 12 hours by yourself and, like, try stuff, and it'll eventually come to you. And, you know, you have to remind yourself I know, at least I do, I have to remind myself every time. How many times have you done this? Does it work out every time? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna finish the song, you're gonna get through it, and it's gonna either work or not, you know? Not cool to be weird just to be weird. It's not cool. I mean, I'm always gonna structure something like a pop song, which is funny, right? Like you think like the more that something is complex, the more like professional it would be, but it's actually not the case. It's kind of really hard to follow like really simple rules, which is like have a verse and then a pre and then a chorus. Sometimes you could start with a chorus, sometimes people do that and that's cool. But if you do, you know, if you have like a really long post-chorus, then like maybe you don't need a bridge. But as far as writing goes, like I write shit out of order all the time. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, whatever I'm playing feels like a pre. Usually though, like I say 80% of the time, it's like the chorus. Because if you're writing a verse and you don't know what the chorus is gonna be yet, you have this like really open variable. How are we gonna write a verse if we don't know what the chorus is yet? So I'd say we usually start with that, or I usually start with a chorus or a hook idea or a melody, and then everything else, like it's like a backwards tree, right? Like the roots don't grow first. Like you start at the top, which would be the chorus, and then the roots kind of grow down, which is like your verses and your like information that you want to get in, like your little bits of personality and all that stuff is kind of like the roots. But in a song, I feel like starting at the top is kind of how you make the best product, maybe the best turnout. As far as like writing go-tos, well, like my iPhone voice note recorder, because that's, you know, a lot of ideas come when I'm in the shower or when I'm driving. So there's that. And then this guitar. Just to tell you, it's not even mine actually, it's my roommate's. Getting too involved off the bat with like a million different things and a ton of options is just gonna like freak you out. If you can play a little bit, if you can play 5 chords, if you can play 3 chords, you play 2 chords, you can write a song.